Hi guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a makeup tutorial on the look that I did on my Pan That Palette video, the recent one. So let's get started, because this is going to be a long video. And I'm not editing it. So first thing I do is just add lip balm. To make sure that my lips are hydrated, especially when it comes to the lipstick, because it's a very drying lipstick. Alright, and then I go into my e.l.f. Hydrating Face Primer. I use about 2 half pumps. Just make sure I get that all over, because winter is here, especially in the Midwest, or Minnesota. It's definitely here. Then next, while that's kind of absorbing in, I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Acne Fighting Foundation, and this is in Porcelain. Yeah, Porcelain, just had to make sure. I really do like this foundation. I even like the shade. Like, I wouldn't go a shade up. I do like it a little bit lighter. And we're just going to put a little bit on. And it smells actually kind of nice, which is nice. That just smell chemically and that stuff. I'm going to be taking my Real Technique sponge and blending that in. And I do have a mirror over here, so that's why I'm looking this way. Yeah, this is kind of like just a get ready with me. Kind of talking to you guys. And when it comes to foundation, I don't like to put a lot on, because I don't like that thick, heavy feeling. I just kind of want it lightweight, especially, I put powder, highlighter, bronzer, blush. Towards the end of the day, I'm excited to take it off. And most of these products that I'm going to put on today are cruelty-free. There are a couple that are not. Alright, and then I find with this foundation, I really do like the finish of this. Especially with the Wet n Wild powder that I'm going to put on after this. Or after, cream products. And then I'm going towards the neck. And there we go. Face. Alright, so now is concealer. And concealer, I'm using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer in Light Ivory. I really do like this concealer. Once again, with concealer, I like to go one shade lighter than what I usually am, because then it kind of brightens. Because I have dark circles, believe it or not. And going back with the sponge. And there we go. Now you might be thinking, like, oh, is that, like, a lot? And, nah, it's fine. Alright, so now I go into the powder, and for that, I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus powder. I forgot the shade that it was because I kind of just put it into this e.l.f. container, but it was darker than me. And this is what it looks like. I'm just going to be taking my foundation brush and patting that all over my face. Once again, with this powder, I really do like the finish of it. But since it is darker than me, I do want to use it up, so that's why I have it in a project pan. Alright, the powder's almost done. I just have to... There we go. So that's the powder. Then we move on to bronzer. And for that, I'm going to be using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer that I have in this palette. That one right there. Just be grabbing my bronzer brush and applying that lightly. And then on the forehead. So I started off with makeup in middle school. I don't know if I think I told you guys that story. And then eventually, here I am now. So, but I was a Maybelline girl. I got everything that was Maybelline or CoverGirl. And for mascaras, I would always pick something from CoverGirl because they had a new one every once in a while. Just blending it out with the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush. And now I'm into e.l.f. and Wet n Wild because they're drugstore cruelty-free brands. And now I'm going to be doing the eyes. And for the eyes, I'm going to start off with the base, I call it, cream base, and I'm using the Physicians Formula cream shadows in nude. Just going to be taking this light shimmery one and putting that on the lid lightly. There we go. I am starting to like this. It's just, it takes a while for me to use these up. And then I'm using the darker shade on the crease. And as you can see, I have hit pan on it, which I'm happy about. And just gonna put that from the outer to the inner. There we go. And then on the other side, There we go. And then for shadows, I'm going to be using the Pacifica palette. That's in my Pan Light palette. I'm going to be taking this brush by Glamour Dolls, it's the crease brush. And I'm going to be grabbing that pink shade right here and just putting that on the lid. And then doing that to the other side. There. And now for the crease, I'm going to be doing this shade right here, which I think is called Treasure. Let me check. Yeah, Treasure. And just lightly doing that on the crease. And then the other side. There. And then for the inner corner, I like to use a white shade. So I'm going to be grabbing my Z palette and be using the shade Moon and putting that on the inner corner, which is right here at the top. So, grabbing my brush, wherever it is, there it is, and this is the Scone Smudger brush, just a little guy, and dipping that in. And for this, it does take a while for it to kind of show up on the eye. There we go. And then the other side. This palette, with all the big shadows on it, I got that from Hot Topic. This is their astronomical eye palette. And I actually kind of like it. I first thought that it would be not as pigmented, but it's actually pretty good, I'll admit. And I do have another palette from them, the Tokidoki palette, and that one is pigmented as well, which I was kind of surprised. And they're both cruelty-free, which is great. Because at first I was like, oh, dang it, it's not cruelty-free, but it is. And I really do like the palette. It's definitely pigmented. I would recommend it to you guys if you're ever looking for a palette and you're kind of worried about Hot Topic. Alright, so now I'm going to be getting into the eyeliner. And for the eyeliner, I'm using the Smashbox Always On Gel Liner in Fishnet. And putting a thin line on. There. And then this side. Now that we got the eyeliner on, put that back. It's time for mascara, and for mascara, I'm using the full or feature length by Barry M Cosmetics. This I got from a friend in England, so I definitely do like this. It has that like little wand, which I never thought I would like, but I actually do. And just be putting that on. Alright, there we go. I don't put it on the bottom lash because it makes my eyes water a lot, so that's why I don't do that. So next is the eyebrows. Once again, with eyebrows, I go back to the Pacific palette, and I use the shade Sandalwood. So that is that shade right there, the darkest shade. And we're grabbing my brush, and this is the e.l.f. small angled brush. This is usually for eyeliner, but I do use it as an eyebrow brush. Then we grab my spoolie. Just kind of brush those out. So yeah, I live here in Minnesota, where the weather is snow 80% of the time. I mean, I love winter, I do, but after February, I'm kind of done with it. So now, I always was born in Minnesota. I'm used to the weather and that stuff. Otherwise I try to put it at a T here, or not a T, but like try to get it nice looking ish. Some days it's good, some days it's bad. Alright, so now that that's done, I go back with the spoolie and just do this, or kind of just brush it out. There we go. And then we move on to highlighter and blush. So for highlighter and blush, for blush, I use the DSL or Dirty Little Secret blush in Kitty Pink. I have it in this container, and I just use my fingers to pat it on, and then blend it out. So I'm not really talking that much, but when I get into makeup, I don't like talking or music that much. And then I'll be using my crown brush. That's, I don't know what you would call this, to be honest. And just blending that in. Alright, and then for highlighter, I'm going to go into vintage highlighter, which is right there. This is the product that is not cruelty free, but look at that pan. That's a nice pan. So definitely would just want to use this up. It smells bad, but it works. So, and just taking my illuminator brush to put that on. And when it comes to highlighter, I like a lot of it on. I always loved highlighter. And then a little bit on the nose. Just a chance. Alright, and then we're going to blend that in using going back to the e.l.f. blending brush. There we go. And the final step, which is lipstick. And for that, I'm going to be using the Too Faced Melted Matte Liquid Lipstick in Sellout. I've been using this lipstick almost every time I do my makeup for a while. So, I mean, I like it. It's just... it's still here. And just creating an X on the top to kind of remind myself that I don't like it like fully on. I do like that dip. There we go. And it still has product. One of these days I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna take the stopper out and then it's gonna be easy to... No, it's still going strong. And I've done it before where I took the stopper out too early and it was messy. Alright, so now I'm gonna be taking this Avon color stick for lips in Gingered Pink. And just putting that on the middle, or in the middle. And there we go. And then I put on setting spray to set it, and I used the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set. This is the regular one in a large. And set my face. And this is the look. Yeah, the eyeliner is not the best, but it's there. But yeah, this is like my shimmery look that I use using my Project Pan items. So that's the end of the video, guys. If you do like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see videos of like this, and if you like Project Pan videos. I know mostly it's been Project Pan, but I am going to try to put more of makeup tutorials and that stuff. Anyway, guys, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.